Alright guys, we got a freaking mess here. Sunday, so good morning to everybody. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. We're gonna do a little work today, however. Getting a little behind. My buddy's in from Pennsylvania, so we'll be going to the beach or doing something during the week, so I'm gonna go ahead and get caught up right now on some of this stuff here. We got the okay on our motor. We're good to go on this. He approved the estimate that we went over, and we're gonna add a few things. I found some interesting stuff after I turned the camera off and I was stripping the short block down there, and just a few extra items that we'll have to add to the estimate. And when I do an estimate, I always add a little bit to it, you know, a couple $100, because there are things that you find that you don't expect. I thought the estimate was pretty thorough, but you know, you always miss something. This time I was not expecting the fuel pump to be bad. I saw a wire tie on it, but I didn't put one and one together, and because I don't do that kind of stuff, so I don't expect it. I'll show you what I found there. I had the fuel pump wire tied together. The top half and the bottom had separated, and they wrapped tape around it and put a wire tie on it, so I missed that. And we're gonna have the flywheel resurfaced. He opted for that, and I think that's about all that I missed. So I missed two items. You know, one was an option of having the flywheel cut, and the other one was the fuel pump that I didn't see. So I'll show you the fuel pump. I thought it was pretty cool. I've never saw one of these before like this. Everything else on this will get replaced. You know, we wrote it for new wires, new points, condensers, all that stuff. So I'll try to put as much as the components on the motor that wear as possible when I rebuild the engine, so you have trouble-free operation. A lot of guys will rebuild the motor, and they'll put the same old spark plugs in there and the old distributor with the old points and condenser, and they'll throw the old wires on there, and all in the to keep the costs low. And yeah, the customer's a little more happy when they pick the car up and pay the bill, but when they break down a week later, they're not too happy. So the goal is to you know, pay for it all at once and have some fun driving the car and not have to worry about it. Here's the bottom of the fuel pump, and it was broken clean off, and they had run tape around here and they had a wire tie on it. So crazy stuff. My friend just bought this bus like this, and he sort of bought this without me looking at it for sure. A lot of guys will do that. A lot of my friends, you know, they'll tell me they're looking for something, and they won't take me with them because they'll never get anything, or they'll be out of their price range when they find it, because you get what you pay for with this stuff. And here's a good example. You know, he just bought this thing about maybe 2-3 months ago, and we're rebuilding the motor. I mean, he knew it had a motor issue. He thought it ran really well. It had an oil leak. The oil leak was obviously from beating the main bearing out of the back of the case. You can see on the back of the case there where it's real shiny around the seal area. That's from the flywheel machine in the back of the case from all the end play. So let me pop these heads apart real quick so I don't have a long upload. I'll see how this uploads, and if I have the camera set correctly, then I'll make some longer videos like normal, and I'll show you step by step. We're going to do the valve job, and I'll get the heads apart. And, now the way I'm going to take these heads apart is just, you know, a way you can do it if you don't have a valve spring compressor. Obviously you're going to need the valve spring compressor when you put the cylinder heads back together. So if you don't know what a valve spring compressor looks like, I can show you one of those right here. You know, this would be your average valve spring compressor. This collapses the spring so you can pull the retainers out. And you know, if you have a double spring, super badass spring, sometimes you got to weld a little. What we do is we'll take we'll weld a piece of wire from here to here and make a cup out of this for the heavy duty springs. But usually if I do the real the race stuff, I'll take that down to scooters and I usually set all my heads up down there because, you know, I can measure the travel and set the installed height and all that stuff. Now for the stock stuff, I'm set up to do it here, but any kind of performance, time I do a performance mod or cylinder head work, I usually go there because all the tooling's there to cut for the double valve springs and all that stuff. I haven't bought all that stuff yet. I need to buy it all, but I'm still using scooter stuff. So let me show you on these heads a quick way to do this. Obviously, that's no good. That whole short block's bad. You want to remove these push rod tubes first, spin them up and turn them. They get stuck in there. And set those off to the side. We're going to pull the bales off. These are going to go in the soaker. Sometimes they get good and stuck like that one. Alright, so you want to definitely probably have some hand protection with a motor like this, fairly dirty. Well, we have a socket here, just an average socket. You want to make sure it fits the outside circumference of the retainer. And you know, some guys won't like this, some guys do this. You know, a lot of guys at head shops will do this for disassembling the heads. It's much quicker. I got a thing down at Spears. It's on a bench. You just slide the head and knock it down. But this is the way I do it. We'll be replacing and resurfacing all these valves. Of course, you know, they're not going to come out that way because I'm making a video. But we do have the tool right here. A lot of times you can just pop those like that, and you can pop them apart, but the retainers want to stick in there on me today, so we'll just use the valve spring compressor and get them apart and get them in the soaker. Make sure our guides aren't too bad. We're going to put guides in probably. We're going to do the cut seats, reface the intake valves, and put new exhaust valves. That's never happened before there. The tool popped over the spring. We'll just tighten that up a little bit, narrow it down. Just doing an American car last, the springs are a little bit bigger. Of course, you want to keep all your stuff together. We'll put all this stuff in the soaker. These springs are really crappy. Somebody's replaced them. We're gonna definitely throw those in the trash. The size of the wire is too small. So anytime you buy a replacement spring, you want to make sure at least the wire diameter is the same size as the factory. Still feeling the fleas in here. So the way you check the guide is just grab the head of the valve and, you know, see if you got any movement. Had to get a scratch in there. These are wiped out. So we're going to need all our guides replaced. I already looked at the heads. They don't appear to have any cracks, but the exhaust seats seem to be completely wiped out. So we're probably going to have 4 exhaust seats put in these heads. And there again, that's why I charged put a little extra room on the estimate. And it's really not a bad idea. We'll go ahead and put the unleaded seats in it. So we get a little bit of an upgrade. So I already showed you how we weld those up. We'll get the seat out. We'll have to weld these up and pull the seats out. And then we'll measure the hole and go get some new seats. Now you see how hard it is to get those off when it does that. That's normally from what happens is this retainer, this keeper grooves, they get, the keeper get locked into the groove when it floats the valve spring and works on those keepers. So somebody's been running this pretty hard. This is in a bus. So what happens in a bus is, whoa, we got a really bad guide here. I don't know if you can see that, but totally wiped out. So we'll definitely be putting guides in these, and definitely be putting seats. Somebody got the kitty out of these. I don't know if that'll show up. Seats are completely wiped out. They're high flow. There's no seat left in this one. It's almost gone. So we'll definitely have to be doing some, putting some guides in and that kind of stuff. So let me shut this off. Go get the fleas off of me. And yeah, I might have to take a shower or something to get them off because they're all over me, I can tell. And I don't know what to do with these damn fleas. I have lost my building. So maybe they don't like mosquito repellent. I'll go get some of that and try that first, but they're definitely eating me alive. I just took my shirt off. They're all over me, hundreds of them. So let me shut this down and we'll turn it back on in a little bit.